I'm Dave Kelly. Thank you for watching this video of my showcase at the National Conference of the Canadian Organization of Campus Activities in Regina, Saskatchewan in June of 2026. I had a great time at the conference and it was wonderful showcasing for all the attendees. We had fun, we laughed, and I had a lot of great comments. I hope you enjoy this video. During it, you will note that I am using PowerPoint in my presentation. I need to let you know that because of the way the lighting was in the room, the screen got washed out in the video and you can't see all the slides. Where I can, I have inserted slides into this video so you can have the full context as much as possible of the presentation that I did. There is one section where I had a little bit of a rapid fire of slides, and so I've added them to the very end of this so you can hear me talk about them and then see them at the end. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would love to talk with you about coming to your campus and working with your students, your staff, and others at your school. Enjoy.
Perfect. Our next showcase has spoken at more than 400 colleges and universities in Canada, the US, and the Republic of Marshall Islands. He was named the Co-Lecturer of the Year by COCA in 2023 and is a two-time Campus Speaker of the Year. An expert in clubs and organizations' leadership and dynamics, he has also appeared in over 24 movies and TV shows as a background actor. So, with that last butchered word, we're going to ignore that and we're going to put our hands together and welcome Dave Kelly!
This is my 5th straight national conference. Yeah, I know, you can Google for that. So who can figure out which was my first one? Somebody old timer? Ottawa is correct. There we go, Ottawa. And so we had a great time there. I love doing it. One of the great things I get to do is travel with my daughter, Katie, who is in the back, and she is filming me and taking pictures, so I say hi to Katie. Yeah, she's awesome. And I love it. I love coming here. And I've been a professional speaker now for over 20 years. One of the things that I love in doing is talking with about leadership is this is what I call my bold statement on leadership. I don't think the ability to win elections makes you a leader. We've certainly seen a lot of examples of that in the world. But think about it on your own campus. But what it does do is it gives you a chance to develop your leadership skills. And I believe all of you and all of your students, all of your other staff have got leadership abilities and talents. What we're going to do is bring them out and develop them. And that's what I do when I come to a school, come on campus. And I've been doing this, as I said, for over 20 years. But I can remember early on, I was one time at a school, and I wasn't as confident as I feel like I am today in front of audiences. And I was waiting to go into the room. And the door to the room had a window in it, like that one right over there. So I could look in and see the people. And the students were all, some of them were sitting there, you were talking, others were poking each other, whatever it is. And I was saying, oh, are they going to like me? Will they like my stories? How is this going to go? And then from inside the room I heard, and now boys and girls, welcome Mr. Kelly. And I went in to face the most hostile and volatile of audiences possible. 5-year-olds. I belong to a service club called Kiwanis, and I was there as part of our reading program with an at-risk elementary school in Atlanta, where I live. So I strode into the room, and all the little people were sitting crisscross applesauce on the floor in front of me. Do we remember doing that? Yeah, we did a lot of that during the pandemic too, didn't we? And I sat in the reader's chair, which was designed for a 5-year-old. And I looked at them and I said, hi, boys and girls, I'm Mr. Kelly, and I'm here from the Kiwanis Club. Here to read to you. And I brought 3 books, all by Dr. Seuss. Does everybody like Dr. Seuss? And all their hands went up. And if you ever around little kids, and sometimes their hands go back down. And then they'll sneak it back up the other side. And it looked like Dr. Seuss was going to be a good bet. One little girl off to the side still had her hand up. And I said, yes, sweetie, do you have a question? And she said, I like Cat in the Hat. I hadn't brought Cat in the Hat that day. And I thought I might be in trouble. And then a little boy raised his hand over on the other side. And I said, yes, do you have a question? he said, "We have 3 cats." And I looked over at the teacher for help, but she had her face buried in her hands in some sort of self-induced coma. And I knew I was on my own. So I was going to have to read the book that I've always read to my daughters, the one that I love the best, Green Eggs and Ham. So I start reading. I am Sam. I am Sam. Sam I am. That's Sam I am. That's Sam I am. I do not like that Sam I am. The kids are getting into it. And I read, he says, I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. You've read the book. How cool. And that's what the kids did too. And then he says, I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them. And that's what the kids did too. And I'm thinking, awesome, audience participation. And so now I'm really getting excited. And I'm excited. I'm reading about the boat and the goat and the rain and the train and the box, and all these different places where this guy, whose name we never learned, says he will not eat the green eggs and ham. And the kids are shouting, anywhere. It's Sam I am. And the first grade teacher from across the hallway comes over and says, if I could please get the kids to quiet down. And I looked at her and I said, are you kidding me? I'm on a roll here. And I get to the one page with no words on it, where this guy says he'll try it if Sam will leave him alone, and he's holding the egg on a fork and it's sort of hanging off, and then he's looking at it, and if there was a word on that page, I think it would be, ew. But then he eats the egg, and he loves it. And he tells Sam he will eat him in all those places. And the book finishes up where he says, I do so love green eggs and ham. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, and that's what the kids did too. And I was hooked. And I've been reading those kids now for 30 years. Not the same kids. They've grown up a little bit. In fact, this is a picture of my kids, from about 15 years ago. I don't know why Danelle in the yellow shirt there is screaming, because poor little Amanda is just getting crushed. But their teacher, Miss G, I read to her kids for about 15 years. And during the time of the pandemic, I saw a post on her Facebook group, and it involved that young man there in the box. And she was sitting in front of the sign of one of our universities in Georgia. And I asked her about it, and she said, his name is Lenward. And she told me, he's in that picture you like to show. And I said, what's the story? Well, she found out when Lenward was in her class as a kindergartner, the family was homeless, and their mother did not have a job. So Miss G went to the family, and she says she became an adopted fairy godmother for them. And on Christmas, birthdays, Easter, anything, Miss G was there with presents. She helped mom get a job. She got them an apartment. And throughout the whole time that Lenward was in school, she was working with that family, and it still continued. He's now out of school, and this young lady just finished her freshman year at Georgia Tech. That's a sturdy leader. That's someone who is putting others above herself, not to her detriment, but to other people's benefit. And that's the message I want to bring to your campus, that that's the kind of leadership that can make a difference in our world. When you do that, you'll be a builder of other people and communities. I introduced you to Katie a little bit earlier. And Katie was in the 5th grade. And in Georgia, in an elementary school, 5th grade is like the seniors. They are the cool kids, and she was the coolest of cool kids. Now, part of it was because every summer I speak at a leadership conference in New York City. So my wife and Katie would come with me, they'd go out shopping, they'd get all the new fashions that hadn't made it to Atlanta yet. And so on the first day of school, and she would bring stuff back for her best friend, Allegria, they would be decked out. And everybody would go, ooh, they're the cool kids. And so all the girls would push their desks next to theirs in class. They'd play together at recess. They'd eat together at lunch. And on Wednesdays, they'd wear pink. If you know, you know. Mean girls. But there was another girl in class, Rachel, who wasn't in the crowd. Rachel had grown up with Katie and Allegria in church and school events. Rachel was having a little problem with her weight at this time, and she was getting bullied and body shamed. Katie and Allegria didn't like it. So they went to the adults, the principal, the counselor, the teacher, and told them what was going on. And they said that they would handle it, but that wasn't good enough for Katie and Allegria. They went to their little group of plastics and said to them, Rachel's going to be our friend. She's going to sit with us in class. She's going to play with us at recess, and she's going to be our friend. And if you don't like that, we're not friends with you anymore. I get chilled up still telling that story. And this is the email that Rachel's mother sent to my wife and Alegria's mom. Through high school, she worked as a lifeguard, so definitely got past those body shaming things. And when she went off to college, she drove off in a brand new car that she paid for with her lifeguarding money. And she's now graduated and continuing out in the world. Now, was that all because of Alegria and Katie? No, but they believed in her when she needed someone to believe in her. And that's being a leader. And they maybe gave a little bit of a spark that made a difference. We can bring that to your campus. You can have that on your campus. I would follow along with something, and I didn't plan it. We didn't have to get together on this, but affirmations to follow through on what Wayne was talking about this morning with visualization. I'm a believer in affirmations. Affirmations are statements that you tell yourself where you claim victory over what you have now. I'm an awesome father. I'm a great husband. And things you will have in the future. But you say it like you have it now. I am in excellent physical condition. Okay, not yet. But I've lost 60 pounds. I got about 30,000 steps since I left Atlanta, so there you know where I'm going. I will be in movies. I am a movie star. Okay, maybe not exactly a star. I've done some background work. This is my 9 seconds of fame in the movie with Taraji P. Henson. I wasn't actually credited, but if I was, then I would think that it would look like this. That's the thing. Talking about making dreams come true, I was a theater major. And I realized that I did not have what it took to really go all for it, and I went in different directions. But here I'm using my skills in this, but I still wanted to be in the movies and on TV, and I still get to do that a couple times a year, and I love it. So what are your dreams? What are the things that you want to make happen in your life? If you could advance me, I'd appreciate that. Here's how you can use me, and we can talk about this more on your campus. This format is like a keynote, where you're on a stage, we're having a conference, maybe we're kicking it off, we're motivating people, we're getting inspired, that type of thing. But I also do workshops and I do training, and I work with clubs and organizations, shared governance, and in fact, some of what I like to do is help you to have your clubs and organizations run better meetings. And we want our meetings to run well. We want them to look like this, not like this. That's actually a real picture from 2 years ago. I have a feeling that he voted no on the motion. So let's see how you do on the motion. We have a motion on the floor. The motion is that COCA gets loud. Do I have a second? We have several seconds. All right, everyone in favor? Scream! Energy. I did steal that from Wayne. But we can have that kind of fun. And in fact, I'll give you tips like that and more pardon me, on Friday when I do my ed session on running and increasing engagement through better meetings. And that'll be at noon. So I'd love for you to be there. There's a lot of tips in there. We're going to have some interactives and there's prizes. I know. There might be gift cards. Tim Hortons, do we like Tim Hortons? Okay, we're going to Tim Hortons. All right. I also talk about being a servant leader, which we've been talking about here, community service. I do workshops for on things like time management, being confident as a leader, conflict resolution. These are all things I can bring to your campus. If you do bring me to your campus, thank you. I will give you 25 free copies of my book, Building Leaders Through Service, The Qualities of Visionary Leaders. You can give them out however you want. Now, do we have any readers in the crowd here? Okay, because I brought about 50 copies with me. I have them at the back table. Don't move now. We're going to have a little break in a few minutes. You can come get a book then, or after the showcases are done, because we want to be respectful of the other speakers that are going to be coming up. But they're free, and I would love for you to take one home. And there's some activities in there you can use on your campus. You never know when the pivotal moment in your life is going to happen. For me, it happened when I was 16. When I was in high school, I was a member of a service group called Key Club. And I went to a small high school with less than 400 students in a village of 4,000 people in Wisconsin. And near the end of my junior year, which was 11th grade, our club president came in and told us about a convention going on up in Green Bay. To me, Green Bay was a big city. It had 80,000 people. So I wanted to spend a weekend in the big city. And I had some money saved up from a job on a farm the summer before. I've been saving it up in order to take a girl to prom, but when I asked her, she turned me down. She was waiting for this other guy to ask her. And he never did. So she had to stay home and I got to go to Green Bay. Well, when I got there, I was blown away. There were posters up with people running for all these offices all over the hotel. And that night, they put us in a room a lot like this with a configuration like this. There was about 6 or 7 schools from our part of the state over here, and about 10 schools from way up northern Wisconsin over here. And these people who had the posters up, they came in, they were wearing coats and ties, and they were very professional, and we would ask them questions, and they would tell us what we would do if we would vote for them. And there's a guy over here, though, running for their representative position, which is called lieutenant governor, and he would tell them what he would do if they would vote him in. But nobody's running from our side of the room, and the guy running the meeting was just begging for somebody to run. And so after a while, my advisor nudged me and said, hey, why don't you do it? And I said, me? How can I do that? I don't know anything about that. I've never been an officer in our club. But I realized, I'll raise my hand, I'll say, I'll do it, and they'll say I don't know anything, and somebody better will be elected. So I raised my hand and I said, I'll do it. And I learned a lesson about volunteering that night. You tend to get what you wanted. Well, from that moment, I went, I served, had a great year, was named one of the best lieutenant governors out of 14 in the whole state, out of 14 of them. Named by Key Club International out of over 700 lieutenant governors as one of the most outstanding lieutenant governors. Went into the collegiate group, moved up in that organization and was elected international president. Went to Toronto, spoke in front of 10,000 people in Vienna, Austria, and graduated and moved to Atlanta and joined the parent organization, Kiwanis, where on October 27, 1990, I was at a training conference with 500 other Kiwanis members in Georgia. And they were giving out awards. And when they gave out one of the awards, this woman in the back of the room jumped up and down and started screaming and yelling. And clearly she was very excited because her club won the award. And then after that session, I was standing with the college students, because now I was an advisor, and the crazy woman from the back of the room came up, and she started talking to the students, and then they said to me, Dave, I'd like you to meet Dia. Dia, meet Dave. And in that moment, I met my wife. Glad I didn't go to prom. So, I'd like to finish with some things I like to say. The door to your future is wide open. Dream dreams, pursue passions, find that which makes your life worthwhile. Come see me Thursday in the business hall. Come see me in the back of the room and get a book. Thank you, COCA. I love you.